Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 5 of Nerding Out with Jake, when I cover the process of making the Necron Canoptek Reanimator. This is the basing portion. Let's get going. First things first, I wanted to make some adjustments to the way this guy was presented on the base. It has some really cool scenery effects that came with the kit, but I wanted to create the look of a muddy, just bombed out battlefield with remnants of people and whatever else that's out there, and really create that grimdark look. I got a lot of inspiration off of looking at World War I photos because that period fascinates me, but the battlefields are utter hellscapes. So what I did is I took some cork, and then, not cork, but bark in this case, pine bark, and stacked it up, drilled some holes for the feet, and just started to create my little atmosphere using some stuff I had around, like the texture paste from AK, and adding some resin bones in this case, like by Green Stuff World, and really just making the atmosphere I wanted to see this guy presented in. Having read a lot of the Horus Heresy books, especially the most recent one, Lost in the Damned, I get the impression that these battlefields that anyone in the 40k universe is on is an utter hellscape. And I wanted to really reflect that by taking what I've seen from World War I and World War II and really bringing that into the base. The model itself is very dark and ominous looking, so I wanted the base to reflect that. The base will be a lot of muted tones, but have a lot of detail that's very grim and a little bit disturbing to look at. So here it is, it's all set to go. Now it's time to prime the model, or prime the base. Once the base was primed, I went about really taking some time to accentuate the different skulls and body parts that are on the base. A lot of it will get covered up and kind of blend in the background with all the mud, but I want the viewer to really look at the model and see different things every time they look at it. These little, pieces of humanity, more or less, really can speak to a person looking at it and creates that little bit of fear and foreboding, like looking at a piece like this, because like, oh, that's a person, that's someone in the ground, or was a person at one point. The disturbing part is I've seen images like this when I've done some research on World War I, and just the images themselves are just, I mean, they're obviously graphic, but they're also just mesmerizing to think that this is what people have done to each other, and I wanted to kind of bring that same feeling and reflection into this model. Once the skulls were all put in place and painted up, I took out AK Interactive's Muddy Ground, diluted with a little bit of water, and went about just dabbing onto the base. I will switch brushes up here and there to make sure I get between the details of the different body parts and different ridges and creases, but overall I just kept the touches light, let the mud accumulate, and get that nice gooey texture, just enough to make it look like it's mud. And after that, I also apply a little bit of barbed wire. I'm not sure where I got it from, but it's had it for quite a while. Once the mud is dry, I decided to add a little more contrast to it by using a black oil wash and making sure to hit all the recesses, and just make sure everything is covered with it, because it will dry and create nice darker points of the base while you still have some lighter points. And once that's done, I then created some puddles that I wanted to have, in the recesses and give a little more of the damp and foreboding look. One cool effect you can create, depth with your puddles is add a little bit of paint to the puddles mix. This makes it look like there's a little bit of dust or whatever else is in the water, and it creates more of the three-dimensional aspect of the puddles. Once that's done, I add a little bit of earth effect to splatter it off with the brush along the legs to give that nice grime, kicked up dirt look, and I was good to go. That's all for this series. Hey, thank you very much for watching this and enjoying the other videos of this one. If you like what you see, please hit like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next time for another fun little series. Just gotta think of what I'm gonna do next. As always, a big thank you goes out to Rick and the Michigan Toy Soldier crew, my fellow Trenchers like JP and Matt, and the lovely Julian. I'll see you guys next time, and have a great one.